Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giribara Dhari Jaya Giribara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giribara Dhari Jaya Giribara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajabana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahansa, this is Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahansa, Divine Grace. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Radha Goloka Nanda Ki Jai. Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Jamna Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamna Mai Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagna Ki Jai. Brihad Midanga Ki Jai. Gaur Nityananda Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Krishna Jai Bhutle. Shrimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Te Namni Prabhupada Sasayatam Prakasivata Sapacharam Sadhu Badata. Namo Vishnu Krishna Jai Bhutle. Shruti Bhakti Danta Swami Te Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gaurvani Picharni Nirvishesh Shunyati Paschatya Tisthani. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We'll be continuing our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 73, Text number 10. Rajvaishwarya Madnota. Rajeshwarya Madunnata. Nashreya Vindate Nripa. Tvatmaya Mohita Nitya. Manyate Sampada Uchala. Achala. Manyate Sampada Achala. Rajashya Aishwarya Madha. Unnada na. I'm sorry. Start again. Rajashya Aishwarya Madha Unnada. Nashreya Vindate Nripa. Tvatmaya Mohitan Itya. Manyate Sampada Chala. Rajaya Aishwarya Madha Unmada. Nachreya Vindate Napra. Tvatmaya Mohita Nitya. Manyate Sampada Achala. Aishwarya Manarunado. Nashreya Vindate Nripa. Tvatmaya Mohito Nitya. Antarte Sampradochla. Acharya Manantado. Acharya Vintate Nripa. Rajeshwarya Madhavanya. Shreyo Vindate Nripa. Tvanmaya Mohito Nitya. Manyate Sampadochala. Shreya Manojado. Shreya Vindatena. Tvanmaya Mohito Nitya. Manyate Sampadochala. Word for word meaning. Raja with sovereignty, Aishwarya and opulence, mother by the intoxication, Unnada becoming unrestrained, Na does not, Shreya real benefit, Vindate obtain, Nripa a king, Tvat your, Maya by the potency of illusion, Mohita deluded, Anitya temporary, Manyate he thinks, Sampada assets, Achala permanent. Translation and purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Infatuated with his opulence and ruling power. Please repeat. I'm sorry. No, not yet. A king loses all self-restraint and cannot obtain his true welfare. Thus, bewildered by your illusory energy, he imagines his temporary assets to be permanent. Please repeat. Infatuated with his opulence and ruling power, a king loses all self-restraint and cannot obtain his true welfare. Thus, bewildered by your illusory energy, he imagines his temporary assets to be permanent. Purport. The word Unnada indicates that one who is intoxicated by false prize goes beyond the boundaries of proper behavior. Human life is meant to be governed by dharma, spiritual principles for gradual advancement to the perfection of Krishna consciousness. Blinded by wealth and power, however, a foolish person does not hesitate to act whimsically against the laws of nature and God. Unfortunately, this is now the situation in the prosperous Western countries. I would correct it and say prosperous every country. irrespective of Western or Eastern. Om Jnana Trimandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshuranmitam Yena Chasmai Shri Guru Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Papnebhayo Vaishnavebhayo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the verse again, Rajashwarya Madanodha Nashreyo Vindata Nripa Twan Maya Mohito Nitya Manyate Sampada Chalam. Infatuated with his opulence and ruling power, a king loses all self-restraints and cannot obtain his true welfare. Thus, bewildered by your illusory energy, he imagines his temporary assets to be permanent. And there's a brief tikas by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, in 3 verses he shows how losing a kingdom is a cause of the mercy of the Lord. With unrestrained Onada pride in his wealth and power, the king thinks the impermanent wealth to be permanent. And Jiva Goswami says, the king does not attain the best results, bhakti, but others do. Or even the best man, Nripa, does not attain bhakti because he imagines temporary material kingdom to be real wealth. Why does he think impermanent things are permanent? By the power of your Maya, he is bewildered. So, we've been reading so far in this chapter how the hundreds of kings imprisoned by Jarasandha are liberated by by Lord Krishna, Bhima, and Arjuna. And after being freed and having got free from all of their weariness of imprisonment by the ecstasy they felt on seeing the Lord, these kings are offering heartfelt prayers. And they start their prayers in text 9, and they go on after this, check text 8, and they go on after this text 10, and they go on further. But quickly, up to now, in the 3 verses, as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talks about, says that in the first one, which is text 8, they call the Lord, they offer obeisances to the Lord as the Lord of the ruling demigods, and he says he is the destroyer of your surrendered devotees in distress. So the Lord is defined as the destroyer of the surrendered devotees in distress, and these kings have surrendered to him. Then in text 9, they say that they don't blame anyone else, in this particular case, King of Magadha, because this is all due to the Lord's mercy that they have fallen from the royal position. It's the result of their karmas and the Lord's mercy. And now, in this verse, the kings are reflecting on their realizations of the temporary nature of the material power, temporary nature of Maya, and the mercy of Krishna. These kings are, just by going through this imprisonment and looking at the Lord, they've gained the knowledge. These kings, they were very powerful. And in this material world, Prabhupada talks about a lot of time, everyone thinks, I'm very powerful, I am king, I am minister, I am leader. But what is this power? As soon as Krishna desires, it's finished. Their imprisonment by Jarasandha, their liberation, both of those are by Krishna's desire. So, the kings were defeated by Jarasandha, they were put into prison. Their so-called independence, their military strength, their prestige, everything is finished. This is the situation in the material life. This is the position of every one of us. So, in Bhagavatam it is repeatedly said, Padam Padam Yat Viptam. At every step there is danger, there is difficulties. We may be secure today, but tomorrow everything is taken away. And we're seeing a practical demonstration of this right now in the world. I'm just back from India. Also, when I'm here, I'm aware of the whole world. I don't just live in my little county, as a lot of our co-patriots live. I think the world is North America, is the United States. And everything can be dictated by what the world and by what the United States thinks is the right thing. So we see that. We see a mentality of this power of the military, power of the economy, and all that. But we're seeing every day of using that power is destroying the world. Being back from India, where there's a very immediate impact of this war. India is not involved in the war, but there is a direct impact of all of the bad deeds, dushkriti, Here we feel the cost of the gas, but it's not affecting hugely as it is there. There, so many people depend on the gas. All these little, the big restaurants are doing fine. They have pumped the gas, they can afford the price, or they can transfer the price to the rich, middle, and upper class in India. For now. But the little guy who's running a little restaurant, little dhaba, little the tea stall, the whole thing. They can't get the LPG. They've shut down. So their livelihood is shut down. What to say about all the people who've died all over the world? I mean, not all over, but in the war area. So, I mean, we see this every day. We see the Padapadiyat Pipadam. But we don't realize it. Don't understand the consequences. So these kings, after being released by Krishna, have got the knowledge, they become intelligent. They got the jnana. When one understands that I'm not the controller, I'm not the controller. Krishna is the controller. And that is real knowledge. They were thinking before that they are independent kings. They had the money, they had the power, but that is illusion, total illusion, Maya. That's what they're talking about here. Maya is to think that something that is not a fact is a fact. So nobody is independent. Everyone is dependent on Krishna. And now they're praying to the Lord. We were falsely proud because of our opulence and power. We forgot you. And this is the disease of the modern civilization. On the other hand, Krishna is very merciful. When he wants, he removes our illusion. He sometimes, when he wants, or when he begins to want somebody to become a devotee or to remember his original position, he takes away the material opulence so that we could come closer to him. Srila Prabhupada often quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:88:8, Yasyaham anugrahami. Harishya, he says, Yasa aham, whom I favor, anugrahami, favor. Harishya, I will take away. Tat his dhanam, wealth. Sanai, gradually. So, Krishna says, Krishna is talking to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he's saying, if I specially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Okay? And then this is in the 8th, but then in the 9th verse, he says, and then when he becomes frustrated in his attempts to make money, and instead befriends my devotees, I bestow my special mercy upon him. Sadhu Sangha. So, sometimes he's what we may consider being mean by taking away our opulence. But then he puts us in touch with the devotees, gives us Sadhu Sangha. And in that Sadhu Sangha, he says in the 10th text, Krishna continues, he says, a person who has thus become sober fully realizes the absolute as the highest truth. the most subtle and perfect manifestation of spirit, the transcendental existence without end. In this way, realizing that the supreme truth is the foundation of his own existence, he is freed from the cycle of material life. So he is freed of those pada vipadam. And so this is something that the Lord is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj when he is talking about an explanation of the religious principle, the whole essence of the religious principles. And in that purport for 1088.8, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada write, and obviously they repeat a lot of what Prabhupada has said. He says, devotees of the Supreme Lord experience both happiness and distress, not as consequences of material work, but as incidental effects of their loving reciprocation with the Lord. Srila Rupa Goswami in Sri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, very definitive treatise on the process of devotional service, explains how a Vaishnava is relieved of all karmic reactions, including those that have not yet begun to manifest. Those are the aprabdha. Those that have just about to manifest, that is the kuta, and those that are barely manifest, which are bija, and those that have manifested fully, prarabdha. As a lotus gradually loses its many petals, so a person who takes shelter of devotional service has all his karmic reactions destroyed. That devotional service to Lord Krishna eradicates all karmic reactions is confirmed in this passage of the Gopal Tapni Shruti, Purva 15. Bhaktiv asya bhajanam tad iha mutrupte paddi. I'm going to skip this. This is kind of a tongue twister for me. Unlike Amrendra Prabhu yesterday. Devotional service is the process of worshipping the Supreme Lord. It consists of fixing the mind upon Him by becoming disinterested in all material designations, both in this life and the next. It results in the dissolution of all karma. So this is what is validated in Gopal Tapni Shruti. While it is certainly true that those who practice devotional service remain in material bodies and apparently material situations for some time, this is simply an expression of the inconceivable mercy of the Lord, who bestows the fruit of devotion only when it has become pure. In every stage of devotion, however, the Lord watches over his devotees and sees to the gradual elimination of his karma. Thus, despite the fact that the happiness and distress devotees experience resemble ordinary karmic reactions, they are in fact given by the Lord himself. As the Bhagavatam 1087:40 says, Bhavat Utta Subhashubha. A mature devotee recognizes the superficially good and bad conditions he encounters as signs of the direct guidance of his ever well-wishing Lord. So, I'm personally finding this to be very, very close to my situation. And I'm so grateful for all of this knowledge that Srila Prabhupada has given us, because it makes me realize that this is all superficially good and bad, that there is something more to it than what I see. So, loss, ultimately, if we recognize it, is a step towards purification. And if we are humble about it, if we practice some humility, we start recognizing that all this is the Lord's mercy, and it's a beginning, maybe a step, not even a step, a tiny movement towards bhakti. And it is not, the Lord's intention is never to punish, but to show special mercy. He's just like a father. If the child is going to a dangerous place, the father may chastise him, but that is not cruelty. It is protection. It is mercy. So these kings were put into difficulty so that they could remember Krishna, rise above that difficulty, and now, in this verse, they're surrendered to the Lord. And that is perfection. So this material opulence without Krishna consciousness is dangerous, because it increases our false ego. We think we are in control. We think we are creating this wealth. But if we become humble, I am servant of Krishna, then even without material possession, we are the richest. Because we recognize that we are the children of the richest. And as Lord Chaitanya tells us, Trinadapi sunichena, be humbler than the grass. In Chaitanya Charitamrita in Antalila chapter 20, in the Shikshastra prayers, in verse 21, the Lord talks about Trinadapi sunichena, one who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Okay? Then the Lord, then the verses continue. These are the symptoms, in the text 22, they said, these are the symptoms on one who chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Although he is very exalted, he thinks himself lower than the grass on the ground, and like a tree, he tolerates everything in two ways. Text 23, when a tree is cut down, it does not protest. And even when drying up, it does not ask anyone for water. Text 24, the tree delivers its fruits, flowers, and whatever else it possesses to anyone and everyone. It tolerates scorching heat and torrents of rain, yet it still gives shelter to others. Text 25, although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. 26, if he chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, he will certainly awaken his dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet. Text 27, as Lord Chaitanya speaks in this way, his humility increased, and he began praying to Krishna that he could discharge pure devotional service. Even the Lord is praying to the Lord. And then in text 28, he says, wherever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, its natural symptom is that the devotee does not think himself a devotee. Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. So, if we get material opulence, we get puffed up. But if we get the mercy of Krishna and the mercy of a sadhu, we develop, or we get on the way to develop bhakti. And one of the first steps is to develop humility, develop surrender to the Lord. Surrender to the Lord is not, well, my Lord, I surrender unto you. It is, but it is demonstrated in our behavior, which is sadhu sangha, serving the sadhus, serving the Lord, serving humanity at large for that matter, because everybody is a servant of the Lord. And to develop humility, do all this humbly and with humility, not in a puffed up manner, not artificially, but by understanding our real position. We are eternal servants of Krishna. So these lords, these kings have now come to an understanding that this is their perfection. And Krishna does not see our past. We all have experience of that. If we come to his shelter today, immediately we are on our way to perfection, to becoming perfect. We're not perfect immediately, but we are on our way. So that's the lesson we take from these kings. And we don't need to wait for suffering. We've all suffered, but we don't have to wait for suffering. We just have to surrender to Krishna. That will make our life successful. Because either way, if we are on Krishna's radar, then if we don't surrender, then he will give us the suffering so we can surrender. So either way, he'll show his love and his mercy and help us get our life successful. So with that, I will stop here. We got 1 minute if anybody would like to add. Prabhu.
When we understand that Krishna never means bad to us,
Absolutely.
and that all the bad things that happen to us are actually impetuses to become more Krishna conscious.
Yes.
We understand that here in the head, there seems to be a gap between the head and the heart. So what do we say about that?
Yeah, the Krishna Prabhu is just saying that when we understand that Krishna never means anything bad for us, it's only because we don't get it. We don't have the connection between our head and our heart. So we don't understand that. And I usually keep repeating, say that to everybody. Krishna does not make mistakes. If he meant to hurt us in any way, that would be a mistake. So Krishna, simplest is Krishna never makes mistake. And I keep getting asked this in these recent months. Oh, you serve Krishna, you go to the temple regularly, you chant his name. Why is he doing this to you? He's not doing anything bad to me, and that's the recognition that he never makes mistake. He never makes mistake. He didn't do that with Arjuna, and he doesn't do it with us. Thank you very much.
No
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल.
This world is, they're calling him a Shasta.
It is, absolutely.
And it doesn't.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvanta Harinam Sankirtan on Sunday at Weaver Street Market here in Hillsborough. And it's going to be a cooler day. It's not going to be really, really hot. And it's going to be between 11:30 and 1 Sunday. Harinam at Weaver Street Market. Okay. Chaitodarpanam marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudan Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pitani Amita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajakadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameba Vambudao Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galashu Daraya Vadanam Gadgadrudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Manastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatava Vidadatu Lampato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Sri Shashaska Ki Jai. Thank you, Dyaradika, for addressing the deity so nicely. It's such a nice outfit, so much nice color contrast, and we can see the flowers local flowers are coming in. So this is the beginning of our wonderful flowers season. And thank you, Santosh, for cooking downstairs. And as I said before, you're a triple devotee. You do so much service with Tulsi and deity worship and cooking. Hari Bo.